Imagine this. What if the most dangerous book in history wasn't locked away in some secret vault, but just sitting on a shelf, waiting for someone to find it? What if opening just one page could unleash a curse, summon dark spirits, or reveal secrets that should have stayed buried forever? For centuries, there have been manuscripts so powerful, their very existence was meant to be forgotten. These are the ancient books that were never meant to be opened. Hidden from the world for centuries, these texts carry dangerous knowledge, magic, demons, and forbidden rituals. These weren't just written, they were created to influence, to curse, to control. Today, we're uncovering 5 of the most dangerous manuscripts ever made. Books that, if they'd been left alone, might have kept their dark secrets forever. But now, they're available to us. And the real question is, should they have ever been found? Our journey into the world of forbidden knowledge takes us to a time when the boundaries between light and darkness were blurred, a time when the pursuit of power led some down treacherous paths. Our first manuscript takes us to the 15th century, when the desire for occult knowledge and the pursuit of forbidden power drove many to risk everything. The Book of the Sacred Magic of Abramelin the Mage was written by Abraham of Worms, a Jewish occultist who sought to share a mystical system that would grant the practitioner dominion over angels and demons alike. The ultimate goal? To achieve divine union with celestial forces. But what was promised as enlightenment came with a steep price for your very soul. At the heart of Abramelin is a 6-month ritual requiring a strict regimen of isolation, prayer, and purity. A dedicated magician must distance themselves from the world, perform complex daily rituals, and follow instructions on invoking divine beings. The aim is to summon angels, communicate with them, and ultimately achieve spiritual enlightenment. But what's hidden within these instructions is the darker truth of the necessity of summoning demons as well. The idea of communing with angels may sound pure, even holy, but the path laid out in Abramelin is fraught with danger. Once the ritual is complete, the magician must confront demonic entities, make pacts, and gain control over the spiritual world. The temptation to bargain with these darker forces is intoxicating. For many, the price was their soul. Some say the Book of Abramelin offers the ultimate magic, the path to unparalleled power, but few understand the profound consequences of this power. In the decades that followed the book's circulation, many who tried to complete its rituals were driven to madness, while others suffered tragic fates. The rituals do not merely promise control over angels and demons, they demand it. What makes the Book of Abramelin so dangerous is its dual nature. The practitioner is asked to walk a thin line between light and dark, between the divine and the demonic. The consequences for those who fail are not only spiritual, they can manifest as madness, despair, and even death. The text's ominous final warning is clear. He who calls upon the spirits of darkness may find them difficult to control. In truth, Abramelin offers no guarantees. The promise of divine power comes with the risk of being overwhelmed by forces beyond human comprehension. History is filled with stories of those who sought to use Abramelin's power only to end in ruin. Whether they were occultists, magicians, or scholars, none were truly prepared for the spiritual battles they were about to face. The book is not just a manual for summoning, it's a dangerous path toward the abyss, where many souls have been lost. Though the Book of Abramelin is now a part of occult lore, its influence lingers. The book was passed through generations of occultists, each attempting the rituals, some succeeding, many failing. Its pages continue to whisper to those with the courage, or the folly, to seek it out. But for those brave enough to venture into the occult realm, remember this. The book does not merely promise the means to summon angels or command demons, it offers the power to change the very fabric of reality. And that, my friends, is a power that comes with consequences far darker than anyone can imagine. If you dare to explore its contents, I recommend The Book of Abramelin by Stephen Guth. This edition offers a deep translation and provides historical context to the dangers within these pages. Our next manuscript brings us into the shadows of the 17th century, to a text that has long been shrouded in mystery and controversy, the Grimoire of Pope Honorius. A book often falsely attributed to Pope Honorius III, offers a terrifying glimpse into the realm of Christian-based dark magic. Unlike other grimoires that merely summon spirits, this text dares to show its readers how to control them, to dominate malevolent forces, demons, devils, and everything in between, bending them to the practitioner's control. The grimoire's most disturbing feature is its blend of Christian iconography with occult rituals. The book uses sacred symbols and prayers to invoke dark forces, creating a fusion of heaven and hell that tempts the reader to summon angels and demons alike, and force them to submit to their commands. But these rituals, steeped in both the sacred and the profane, carry a heavy price. The Grimoire of Pope Honorius is notorious for its detailed instructions on summoning and controlling demons. The text suggests various methods for binding these malevolent entities, forcing them to reveal hidden truths, perform tasks, or even grant power to the magician. But while many grimoires are simply guides for summoning, the Grimoire of Pope Honorius is unique in its focus on mastery and domination. It tells its practitioners how to hold the reins of power, making it all the more dangerous. For the unprepared, the consequences of invoking demons can be catastrophic. The Grimoire of Pope Honorius does not promise a simple path to power. It demands absolute control over the forces you call upon. While it offers the power potential, it also carries the unspoken risk of losing one's soul in the process. Those who summon these dark spirits are not always prepared for the consequences, which often lead to despair, madness, or death. Much like the Book of Abramelin, this grimoire plays with fire. Summoning demons and controlling them is not a task to be taken lightly. In fact, the Grimoire of Pope Honorius carries a chilling warning. He who calls upon the devil will forever be marked by him. Many historical accounts recount the disastrous outcomes of using this grimoire. Practitioners, driven by the desire for power, sought to bind the devil himself into submission. The text provides detailed instructions for these perilous tasks, such as invoking the devil's name and summoning him into a circle of power. But those who attempted it rarely found the success they craved. Instead, they found ruin. Some were consumed by the very demons they sought to control, while others experienced mental and spiritual decay. One of the most fascinating aspects of the grimoire is its connection to the concept of divine authority. The book's creator, or at least the figure to whom it is attributed, Pope Honorius III, was supposedly a powerful figure within the Church. And yet, this book stands in direct contradiction to the very faith it is said to be associated with. It raises an unsettling question. How could a pope be involved with such dangerous occult knowledge? Was it an attempt to maintain control over forces beyond the Church's power? Or was it an intentional step toward bridging the gap between the divine and the demonic? While the authorship of this grimoire remains in dispute, the dangerous content within it cannot be ignored. For centuries, it has called to those with an interest in occult knowledge, providing them with the means to command demons and spirits. And yet, with each page turned, it draws the reader deeper into a realm where the forces of good and evil are no longer clearly defined, where temptation and damnation walk hand in hand. Though it may have originated in the 17th century, the Grimoire of Pope Honorius continues to captivate and terrify occultists today. It serves as both a warning and a guide that, if followed too closely, may lead you straight into the embrace of the devil himself. For a deeper understanding of the Grimoire of Pope Honorius, consider the various editions available for study. Additionally, the Demonology of King James the Baptist offers insight into Christian occult practices, shedding light on the dangerous intersection of religion and dark magic. Our next grimoire takes us into the heart of the Renaissance, a period that saw the blending of mysticism with scientific exploration. The Key of Solomon, also known as Clavicula Salomonis, is perhaps the most famous occult text of its time, revered for its detailed instructions on summoning, binding, and controlling spirits. Allegedly written by King Solomon himself, this ancient text offers a blueprint for commanding demons, angels, and other ethereal entities, granting the practitioner dominion over realms beyond our understanding. Unlike other grimoires that focus on invoking spirits, the Key of Solomon gives the reader specific instructions on how to bind them, offering control over both benevolent angels and malevolent demons. But this power comes with a dire warning. Misuse of the knowledge in this book could invite entities into our world that can't be controlled, or worse, could draw the practitioner into a world from which they may never return. At the core of this grimoire is a system of seals, powerful symbols, said to unlock access to higher planes of existence. These seals, when drawn and used correctly, supposedly allow the magician to control or summon spirits to do their bidding. But it's not just the seals. The rituals themselves are highly elaborate, requiring days of preparation, specific times, and even the practitioner's own spiritual readiness. The very act of using the Key of Solomon is described as a form of initiation, a test of will and determination. To gain mastery over these powerful spirits, the magician must not only summon them, but also perform binding rituals, creating barriers between the spirit and the material world. In essence, the magician is not simply calling a spirit to serve them, but locking the spirit into an eternal contract. It's a delicate and dangerous process, one that risks more than the loss of control over an entity. Though the Key of Solomon is often regarded as a divine grimoire, the very nature of the rituals described within can lead one down a perilous path. The book instructs its users to invoke spirits of great power, both celestial and infernal, creating a bridge between the material world and spiritual realms. But this bridge can be unstable, and for those unprepared or reckless, it may lead them directly into danger. Perhaps the most chilling aspect of the Key of Solomon is the way it blurs the line between good and evil. The magician is not tasked with summoning one specific type of spirit, but is granted the ability to manipulate both divine angels and demonic forces. This power comes at a cost. Those who try to control the spirits of both realms risk their souls. Each spirit is not just a tool or a servant. They come with their own agendas, and the more powerful the spirit, the more difficult it is to control. Many who attempted the rituals described in the Key of Solomon were not prepared for the consequences. It is said that a failed ritual could leave the practitioner cursed or haunted by the spirits they sought to control. But even those who succeeded in their summoning often found themselves bound to the spirits they invoked, unable to escape the pact they had made. The importance of preparation cannot be overstated. The Key of Solomon is not a book of casual magic. It's a serious, complex guide that requires absolute commitment. The magical circles must be perfectly inscribed. The practitioner must fast, purify themselves, and be spiritually and mentally prepared to handle what they are about to encounter. Even the most prepared magician is no match for the forces they may inadvertently awaken. The book's pages are filled with warnings and cautionary tales about the risks of summoning spirits, and the dangers of invoking the powers of both heaven and hell. It suggests that even the most sacred angels can turn against the summoner if the rituals are not executed flawlessly. And in the end, there is no turning back. For centuries, the Key of Solomon has drawn those searching for hidden knowledge and forbidden power. It remains one of the most revered and feared grimoires in the occult world, offering both the promise of divine wisdom and the peril of ultimate destruction. For those intrigued by the occult practices within the Key of Solomon, the translation by S. L. MacGregor Mathers, 1888, offers a definitive version, complete with deep insight into the book's historical and mystical significance. From the shadows of ancient Egypt, a dark and mysterious manuscript emerges, the Coptic Handbook of Ritual Power. This 4th century text is a powerful blend of pagan rituals and early Christian mysticism, a convergence of two worlds that would prove both dangerous and enticing. But what truly sets this grimoire apart is its ability to bridge two realms, the divine and the infernal, giving the practitioner access to both heaven and hell. Within these pages lies the potential to summon gods, spirits, and even demons, making it one of the most ominous texts in the occult world. This text is not simply about invoking spirits. It offers the practitioner the power to control these beings, to call upon angels, or even command the darker entities whose power is better left undisturbed. The rituals outlined in the Coptic Handbook of Ritual Power provide a detailed guide for those willing to risk everything to tap into otherworldly forces. The merging of Christian and pagan traditions within this text creates a dangerous path for anyone foolish enough to follow it. The rituals within this manuscript are deeply rooted in both Egyptian magic and Coptic Christianity. In its time, the Copts' early Egyptian Christians were steeped in both traditional Egyptian mysticism and the new Christian faith. This synthesis gave rise to a unique form of ritual magic, one that blends divine prayer with spells of pagan origin. But the fusion of these two paths is not without consequence. Calling upon both angels and demons in the same ritual creates a volatile mix, one that could very well tear the practitioner's soul asunder. Some say the power of this text is so great that it was kept hidden from the masses for centuries. The rituals involve not just the summoning of spirits, but their control, binding them to the will of the practitioner. However, control is an illusion. Those who attempt to command such forces risk becoming enslaved by them. As the ancient Egyptians knew all too well, to call upon the gods is to invite them into your life in ways you may not understand or anticipate. Within the Coptic Handbook of Ritual Power is the promise of dominion over both divine and infernal entities. Its spells can bring about visions, protection, and power, but they also invite forces that defy human understanding. Imagine summoning an angel, only to find that the creature is not as benevolent as expected. Or worse, calling upon demons who refuse to return to their realm. The consequences for attempting to control these powerful forces could be catastrophic, driving the practitioner mad, or worse, dragging them into the very realms they sought to command. This grimoire's blend of Christian ritualism with ancient pagan magic is what makes it particularly dangerous. In early Christianity, angels were seen as powerful divine messenger beings who guided the faithful and offered protection. But the Coptic Handbook of Ritual Power turns this idea on its head, suggesting that the same angels could be summoned for darker purposes, even manipulation. On the flip side, demons, typically seen as agents of destruction, are invoked with the same ease, offering the practitioner unimaginable power if they can control them. Practitioners of this ancient ritual magic had to be incredibly skilled, not just in summoning spirits, but in knowing how to control them. The Coptic Handbook provides an intricate system of symbols, prayers, and invocations, each designed to keep the practitioner safe while wielding powers beyond mortal comprehension. But those who failed to fully comprehend the rituals paid the ultimate price, for spirits once summoned are notoriously hard to dismiss. These rituals didn't just promise power, they also carried a heavy burden. Many who sought to use the Coptic Handbook found themselves at the mercy of the very spirits they summoned. The text's ability to invoke not just angels, but darker entities, could lead the unwary into temptation. As it is said, some practices are best left untouched, for the cost of dabbling in such forbidden knowledge could lead to the destruction of the soul itself. Whether you seek knowledge or power, the Coptic Handbook of Ritual Power offers both in abundance. But in the world of occult texts, some books are best left closed, their pages never turned. For those who dare to open them, the consequences may be more than they can handle. For those curious about the Coptic Handbook of Ritual Power, consider the translation by M.J.T. Lewis, which offers a comprehensive look into the influence of Egyptian magic and the early Coptic Christian practices. This text provides historical insight and the context needed to understand the power contained within. Finally, we come to one of the most enigmatic and fascinating manuscripts in the history of Mesoamerican culture, known as the Grolier Codex. This 13th century Mayan manuscript, though not a traditional grimoire, carries within it the dark secrets of Mayan prophecy and the cosmos. The Grolier Codex was a sacred tool used by Mayan priests, who believed that the stars and planets dictated the fate of both individuals and entire civilizations. It was used to track celestial movements, interpret omens, and make prophecies that were said to influence not just the future, but the very actions of the gods. The Codex itself is a masterpiece of ancient Mayan knowledge, filled with detailed illustrations of gods and cosmic forces. But it was much more than an astronomical chart. The knowledge contained in this codex was deeply tied to prophecy and ritual. The priests who used it did not just look to the stars, they looked for signs of divine intervention, interpreting celestial movements as omens of great importance. These prophecies often dictated the lives of the Mayan people, and sometimes they demanded ritual sacrifices to appease the gods. What makes the Grolier Codex particularly ominous is its connection to the idea of fate. The ancient Mayans believed that the gods had the power to control the destiny of both individuals and entire civilizations. Through the interpretation of the Codex, priests could predict events, influence decisions, and even dictate the outcomes of wars or natural disasters. The rituals performed in accordance with the prophecies in this codex often included sacrifices, both symbolic and, at times, deadly, in order to ensure the fulfillment of the god's will. The symbols in the codex are shrouded in mystery. Each chart, each drawing, is more than just a map of the stars. It's a guide to the very forces of the universe. The Codex contains what appears to be a calendar of ritualistic dates, pointing to specific moments when the celestial forces were believed to be at their most potent. These moments weren't simply for observing the sky. They were for performing rituals that could shape the course of history. A single misinterpretation, or a single sacrifice offered at the wrong time, could send a civilization spiraling into disaster. The Grolier Codex was discovered under mysterious circumstances, and much about its origins remains a mystery to this day. What we do know is that it was a powerful tool for the Mayan elite, those who could read the stars, speak the language of the gods, and understand the deeper meanings of the universe. But to gain such power came with a price. The knowledge in the Codex was not just a gift, it was a responsibility. And in the wrong hands, it could lead to catastrophic consequences. For centuries, the Codex was lost to time, its knowledge hidden from the world. But even today, the mysteries of the Mayan civilization continue to fascinate and haunt us. The Grolier Codex offers us a glimpse into a time when the stars were the ultimate authority, and those who could read them held power over life and death itself. The fate of entire civilizations was believed to be tied to the prophecies foretold in this codex. When these prophecies were fulfilled, the Mayans believed it was a sign of divine will, a moment when the gods either blessed or condemned their people. And for those who defied the stars, the cost was often catastrophic. Civilizations fell, kings were overthrown, and entire cities were lost to time. The Grolier Codex, with its deep connection to the cosmos, was not just a book. It was a guide to understanding the very will of the gods themselves. The Grolier Codex stands as a testament to the power of knowledge and the dangerous consequences of seeking too much. What once seemed like celestial secrets have now become part of the world's hidden history. A history filled with prophecies, rituals, and sacrifices. And though the Mayan civilization is no more, the power contained in these pages still echoes across time, waiting to be understood once again. For those intrigued by the Grolier Codex, Marilyn A. Masson's The Grolier Codex, an ancient Maya ritual and divinatory text, provides an in-depth exploration of this mysterious manuscript. It delves into the history, the symbolism, and the prophecies contained within, shedding light on the Mayan understanding of the cosmos. From medieval grimoires to ancient sacred texts, these books are more than just words on paper. They are the keys to realms best left untouched. Throughout history, mankind's search for forbidden knowledge and control over unseen forces has been a dangerous obsession. Yet, with every secret we uncover, one question remains. Some knowledge, once revealed, was never meant to be known. Which of these manuscripts will you dare to explore, and which ones should have stayed buried forever? Let us know in the comments below. If you're enjoying this journey into the unknown, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell icon so you never miss an eerie adventure. Your support helps us uncover even more dark secrets together. Thanks for being part of the journey.